Never take what you have for granted. Some things, once gone, can never return. Mark had everything a man could dream of. A beautiful home, a loving wife, and a daughter who made his world complete. Laura, his wife, had been by his side for 15 years. She cooked, cleaned, and supported him through every challenge. Yet, Mark never seemed to notice. He took her love for granted, thinking it would always be there, no matter what he did. One evening, Mark met Emily. She was young, lively, and full of energy. Everything about her made him feel young again. He started sneaking out, finding excuses to spend time with her, laughing at jokes he wouldn't have laughed at before, and feeling alive in ways he hadn't in years. Mark's mind became clouded. He started comparing Emily to Laura. Laura was tired, responsible, and practical. Emily was exciting, spontaneous, and fun. Laura is boring, he told himself. Emily is my chance to live again. Then one night, he made the biggest mistake of his life. He told Laura he wanted a divorce. He said he needed to be with someone younger, someone who could make him happy. Laura's heart shattered. She begged, cried, and pleaded, but Mark's mind was made up. He moved out, leaving his wife and their daughter behind. He told himself this was freedom, a new chapter, a life of excitement and pleasure. Emily welcomed him with open arms. For a few weeks, everything seemed perfect. She cooked meals he loved, laughed at all his jokes, and filled the emptiness he thought he had in his heart. Mark felt alive, young, and free. But life has a way of teaching lessons that money, charm, or beauty can never prevent. One evening, Mark came home early to surprise Emily. He expected her to greet him with a smile, but the house was silent. The door was locked, and a note lay on the counter. It was short, simple, and cut deeper than a knife. Mark, I can't be with a man who leaves his family for selfish reasons. I'm gone. Don't look for me. Mark's chest tightened. Panic set in. He called her phone, no answer. He drove to her apartment, she wasn't there. He realized, for the first time, that Emily was just like the excitement he chased, temporary. She had never loved him, only the idea of him. That night, Mark sat alone on the couch. For the first time in months, he thought about Laura. Her tears. Her love. Her patience. And then he thought about his daughter, who probably cried herself to sleep, wondering where her father had gone. Mark finally felt something he hadn't felt in years, regret. Not just for losing Emily, but for throwing away a life that was real, loving, and true. Some people are irreplaceable, and some mistakes cannot be undone. The doorbell rang, and Mark froze. When he opened the door, no one was there. Just an envelope lying on the mat. He opened it slowly. Inside was a single photo of Laura and their daughter, smiling in a park, holding hands. On the back, a few words. We are happy without you. Maybe one day, you will learn what true love really means. Mark sank to the floor. The excitement, the youth, the fun he thought he had found, it was gone. And with it, the life he had taken for granted. Life is short, but love is precious. When you take someone for granted, karma has a way of reminding you just how valuable they were. When you chase selfish desires, life has a way of making you pay. After losing Emily, Mark thought he had learned his lesson. He realized he had thrown away something real for a fleeting thrill. But old habits die hard. Deep inside, he still wanted excitement. He still wanted someone who would make him feel alive without asking for anything in return. Mark tried to focus on work, hoping money and success could fill the empty space in his heart. But no matter how many deals he closed, no matter how much praise he received, the loneliness followed him everywhere. Then came the first real shock. One morning, Mark received a call from the hospital. His father had fallen ill. Mark rushed there, but when he arrived, he found his family, Laura and his daughter, already by his father's side. Laura's face was calm but distant. His daughter didn't run to hug him. She barely looked at him. Mark tried to speak, but Laura cut him off. "Mark, we've moved on. We can't keep pretending you're part of our lives. You left. We healed without you. Now, you need to face the consequences of your choices." Mark felt like the ground had disappeared under him. He realized that leaving his wife didn't just hurt her, it hurt his daughter, his family, even his own sense of self. The next weeks were worse. Mark's friends, who had once admired him, began to avoid him. Rumors spread about how he had left his wife and daughter for a younger woman. People he had trusted laughed behind his back. Every meeting, every dinner, every social gathering reminded him of what he had lost. Then came the final blow. Mark's business, which had always been his pride, began to collapse. Deals he had relied on fell through, clients stopped returning calls, and employees left. He couldn't understand why everything was falling apart at once. It felt like life itself was punishing him. One rainy evening, Mark sat in his empty house, staring at the walls that once held laughter, love, and family memories. He remembered the look on Laura's face when he left, the sadness, the disappointment, the betrayal. And he realized something terrifying: no matter how hard he worked now, he could never go back. He could never fix what he had destroyed. Mark tried calling Emily again, thinking maybe she would comfort him. But she had moved on. Her social media showed a new boyfriend, a new life, a new smile. Everything Mark had wanted, the thrill, the love, the excitement, was gone. And he had nothing to show for it except regret. The harsh truth hit him like a storm. Life had given him a warning when he first left Laura. It whispered that true love cannot be replaced by desire or youth. But he didn't listen. Now, karma was not gentle. It was loud, harsh, and undeniable. Mark had money, he had freedom, but he had lost the one thing he could never earn back: the trust, love, and warmth of his family. That emptiness became a shadow that followed him everywhere, reminding him of the choice he made. Life will always balance itself. The happiness you destroy in others will return to you in ways you cannot escape. Selfish choices bring pain, and some mistakes leave scars that never heal. Life always finds a way to teach the harshest lessons to those who refuse to appreciate love. Months passed, and Mark's life continued to crumble. His business was failing, his friends had vanished, and the woman he thought would fill his emptiness had abandoned him. But Mark still hadn't faced the full weight of his choices. One evening, Mark received a letter in the mail. It was from Laura. His hands shook as he opened it. Inside was a simple message. "Mark, you left us, but we survived. Your daughter is thriving. She is happy and surrounded by people who love her. As for me, I am moving forward, and I hope you finally learn the meaning of respect and love. Laura." Reading her words, Mark felt a hollow pit in his chest. He realized he had lost everything that truly mattered. He had nothing left: no family, no friends, no trust, and no respect. Money could not buy back what he had destroyed. Desperate, Mark tried to rebuild his life. He moved to a new city, thinking a fresh start could fix the mistakes he made. But everywhere he went, reminders of his past followed him. Old clients refused to work with him. Colleagues whispered behind his back. Even strangers seemed to judge him. It was as if the universe itself had decided he must pay for his selfishness. Then came the final, unimaginable shock. One evening, Mark saw a news report on TV. A wealthy young woman, his former lover Emily, was arrested for fraud. She had tricked countless men, taking their money and disappearing without a trace. Mark's heart sank. The woman he had left his wife for was a con artist. Everything he had thought was love, everything he had sacrificed, had been a lie. Mark felt his stomach turn. He had thrown away his family, his daughter's love, and his wife's trust for a dream that never existed. And now, he was left completely alone, with only regret and emptiness to keep him company. In the quiet of his apartment, Mark finally understood the truth he had ignored for years: the thrill of youth, excitement, and selfish pleasure is temporary. True love, the kind that builds a family, protects a home, and nurtures a child, is priceless and cannot be replaced. Mark tried reaching out to Laura one last time, hoping for forgiveness, hoping for a second chance. But it was too late. Laura had moved on. She had rebuilt her life stronger than ever, with her daughter by her side. Mark's calls went unanswered, his messages ignored. He was a man who had everything, threw it away, and now had nothing. The final lesson was clear and brutal. Those who abandon love for selfish desires may gain momentary pleasure, but the cost is always higher than they can imagine. Karma is patient, and when it strikes with full force. Some opportunities, once lost, can never return. Some hearts, once broken, never heal for the one who caused it. Mark spent the rest of his life haunted by regret. Every smile he saw between a father and child reminded him of what he had lost. Every happy couple, every family gathering, every laughter-filled room was a mirror of the life he threw away. And in the end, Mark learned the hardest lesson of all: you cannot outrun the consequences of your choices, and true love, once abandoned, cannot be bought back ever. Welcome to Lumina AI, where stories are more than just entertainment. For us to grow together, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss more upcoming stories. Thank you for watching. This is where we draw the curtain. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notifications bell so that you don't miss upcoming stories with life lessons. Don't forget to share your thoughts concerning this story on the comment section. Your voice matters.